If you press on your stomach right now and it feels firm rather than soft, and it sits low while your arms and legs remain relatively lean, you are dealing with a condition known as cortisol belly. Ordinary fat simply stores excess energy. Cortisol belly operates as an independent biological factory. The fat cells themselves are packed with an enzyme called 11-beta-HSD1, which actively manufactures the stress hormone cortisol 24 hours a day. This flow diagram shows exactly how the biological trap works. The belly fat produces cortisol locally. That cortisol travels to your brain and hits the hippocampus, damaging your central stress braking system. Without those brakes, your body remains chronically stressed, which signals your system to pack on even more belly fat. Because this loop runs constantly in the background, it generates heavy systemic symptoms over time. You will experience unexplainable afternoon fatigue, strong sugar cravings even when you are full, and severe brain fog as the hippocampus physically shrinks. This graphic lists a 3-point diagnostic checklist you can use to confirm if you are trapped in this loop. Check for firm central fat, lean limbs, and persistent fatigue or brain fog. If you have exactly 2 of these 3 signs, your cortisol belly is actively producing hormones. Standard calorie deficit diets and grueling gym routines fail here because they only treat the symptoms. To permanently shut down the factory, you have to execute a 3-step daily protocol to break the cycle at its root. Step 1 is dropping your cortisol input. By calming your body's overall daily stress rhythm, the rogue factory in your belly loses the external fuel it needs to keep expanding. This 24-hour clock shows the first structural change. Establish a strict 12 to 14-hour overnight fast. If you finish eating at 7 p.m., do not consume calories until 7 a.m. Immediately after, get 10 minutes of morning sunlight to restore your natural cortisol peak. To accelerate this process, you will use 2 specific supplements to calm the stress feedback loop at the receptor level. You need 300 milligrams of ashwagandha KSM66 extract twice daily, and 400 milligrams of magnesium glycinate right before bed to help your nervous system power down. You must keep your fast under 14 hours. Pushing into heroic 16-hour fasts will backfire. It forces the body to perceive starvation, which triggers more cortisol production, especially if you are a woman or already have a history of blood sugar issues. Stick strictly to this daily input control. Within the first 2 weeks, you will hit the very first layer of healing, resulting in clear, restored morning energy and the lifting of your brain fog. Step 2 targets the visible fat by stopping the exact hormonal combination that forces your body to store visceral weight in the first place. This line graph maps cortisol alongside insulin. When both lines elevate together, your body aggressively stores visceral fat. Eating snacks artificially forces insulin upward. Since cortisol is naturally elevated, every snack locks your body into active fat storage. This daily timeline graphic shows the structural fix. You must separate insulin from cortisol by eating exactly 3 meals a day, with absolutely 0 snacking in between. To make it from breakfast to lunch without crashing, you must hit a specific macronutrient target. Each of these 3 meals needs 30 to 50 grams of high-quality protein to keep your blood sugar completely flat. This is where most people fail. An imperfect diet with exactly 3 meals and 0 snacks is vastly superior to a perfectly clean diet where you graze all day. The eating window matters more than the exact macros. Decoupling these 2 hormones shuts down the fat factory's expansion phase. When you maintain this strict spacing, the visible shifts in your belly size will begin by weeks 3 to 4. Step 3 is the longest play, but it is how you physically dismantle the visceral fat cells to permanently shut down the cortisol factory. To physically shrink the fat without triggering a stress response, you must complete 30 to 45 minutes of Zone 2 walking every single day. High-intensity cardio spikes cortisol and destroys progress. Zone 2 means you move consistently, but can easily hold a conversation without losing your breath. While the walking burns the fat, you need to chemically neutralize the toxic inflammatory cytokines the belly has been pumping out. Take 2 to 3 grams of a clean, pharmaceutical-grade omega-3 fish oil every day. A moment of relief. As the physical fat shrinks and the chemical inflammation subsides, you get a massive neurological payoff. The hippocampus in your brain physically rebuilds, restoring your body's natural brakes on the stress system. Executing this final step closes the loop. The rogue cortisol factory shuts down, the brakes heal, and you protect both your metabolic function and your long-term cognitive health. Let's review your exact daily execution checklist. Run a 12-hour overnight fast, eat 3 high-protein meals with absolutely 0 snacks, get 10 minutes of sunlight, walk in zone 2, and take your supplement stack. This 12-week timeline graphic breaks down the physiological milestones. Healing happens in distinct chronological layers. If you hit week 4 and your energy is fantastic, but your stomach hasn't noticeably shrunk yet, do not quit. You are simply in between layers. Stay on the protocol. Your recovery starts tonight. I want you to look at your schedule. Write down your exact 12-hour eating window and commit to ending your food intake at that precise time. To lock in that commitment, scroll down and drop your exact eating window in the comments below. Set your alarm, lace up your shoes, and step outside for your first 10-minute morning walk tomorrow to permanently break the cortisol loop.